And
Getting
here
a
we
little
are.
whimsical today, huh?
And we're here.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for
It's her
joining
now.
Moment Presence.
Yes, welcome.
While Michelle mutes her notifications.
I know. It's sorry. They were on. I forgot that they were on,
I
so I'm
think we'll live.
muting everything. Hi everybody. So good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Share, like, subscribe. You know how many times I watch videos and like I love the videos and then I realize I never like the people's videos. And I'm like, that sucks. And then I'm like, oh, that's probably what happens to me too.
It's so true. It's so funny you say that. That literally just happened to me 20 minutes ago. And I was like, oh crap, I haven't been. And then I'll go back and I'll like
Right.
all of them to support them. Yeah.
Like the I don't whatever Instagram we've been watching the husband react. I'm like, why am I not liking these videos? I love these videos. They bring so much joy to my washing dishes. Like, and then I forget to hit like. So
Yeah.
yeah, then you got to go back and you got to do that. But
You
it's
know, it sounds like we need to get a handle on life.
you think it's like there's an algorithm of life that can either control us or we can control it if we learn the back end of it. Ah, the little like cheat codes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking a little bit about today. We're talking about what are
Cheat
the four
codes.
yeah, what are the four signs that it's time to get a handle on your life?
Yeah. Um, this is a good one. They're all good ones. That's why we write them. Just being modest, just a little. Um, I mean, let's just call it what it is. We are here not just because we love to talk, which we do, but, and, we love having a podcast, which we do, but we're here for a purpose to help others
Mhm.
because we've had to do a lot of this on our own and it's taken us years. And so if we can trim some time off of your journey or point some things out, maybe it's not your journey, maybe you're watching someone else struggling, and that was something I wrote down. Like, this isn't just for you to diagnose yourself. This is also for you to observe and go, oh, wow, maybe that's why that person hasn't been calling me. Or maybe, wow, that's why this has been happening.
Mhm.
And you can see it from a different perspective.
Mhm.
And I'm all about those perspective shifts.
I was
So,
just gonna say, you know me, I'm perspectives all day. I bring it up almost every episode, but
yeah,
it's in my opinion one of the greatest keys of self-awareness, of mindfulness, of growth, of staying emotionally detached from situations. Like it's a key that unlocks a lot of things.
and I've had almost every one of those things that you just mentioned all happen already, and it's only 12.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay. So I'm Michelle with Moksha Grace Coaching. I am a emotional liberation coach, life learner, recovering people pleaser, and just all around coach. Love alchemy, love shifting perspectives, law of attraction, and really understanding that it takes radical responsibility and self awareness to have a good life. It's not about anyone else. It's about how we show up in our life that will decide how we experience life. How about you, Krista?
I love that version of your intro. I'm Krista. I am an ops professional and CRM strategist, and also coach because I coach a lot of my clients on how to increase efficiency, use technology, um, you know, become friends with operations so that they can run their businesses effectively. And I have a lot of fun doing that. And just to riff off of Michelle's version, I'm also a childhood cancer survivor, general, just kind of like trauma and PTSD survivor, and lifelong learner and perspective lover. And yeah, we're on a podcast together.
bringing you what we have learned so you don't have to go through it
Yeah,
alone. Uh,
absolutely.
oh,
And
we
so,
have chatters already. Hi, Renee.
hi,
Thanks for
Renee.
joining us. Thanks for sharing out. And an
Ah,
awesome
thank
share.
you, Renee.
Thank you.
I don't know who that was for, but we're just gonna say that's for both of us because I
Yeah.
think so too.
Yeah.
And
Right.
today's topic: 4 signs that it's time to get a handle on your life.
Yes. Uh,
Yeah,
so you want me just to roll them off and then we'll talk about each one of them individually?
yeah, I think that's a
And
good idea. Kind of, yeah.
yeah, and I think that there's more, and they can be
Oh,
defined in different ways, right, for
mhm.
different people. So, feeling walking, and let's just say it's you, right? Feeling completely overwhelmed, so much to do. A lot of moms going through this right now because, and teachers, hi Renee, because you're getting ready to go back to school. So totally feeling overwhelmed, a lot coming at you at once. Like, oh my gosh, I almost just made a joke that I really would not have been good. But yes, feeling completely overwhelmed. um, Another one would be feeling underwhelmed.
Well, that would kind of be lumped together. So it's like the opposite, either overwhelm or underwhelm.
Yes. Underwhelmed would be nothing's really exciting you. Like, life is kind of just boring and meaningless, and like, why bother? Like,
And
stay in
weirdly
bed.
enough, it could be both at the same time.
Yeah, they can cause, one can cause the other, and the other can cause the other. All of these have similar symptoms, signs, can create different situations in life. And the important part is to observe what you're feeling, but the most important part is then what can you do to change it. So that's going to be the important part of this episode. Another one is physical or emotional exhaustion.
That's another
uh,
one.
mhm. And we both know, just working with people a lot, if you are physically exhausted by the end of the day and you don't do manual labor, because that would be a separate reason for physical exhaustion, then you're probably someone who's using their brain power a lot. You're being very strategic. You're trying to over control everything. Where if you are emotionally exhausted, you might be opening up your heart maybe a little too much and not putting up some protective boundaries around you. And we'll go over that a little bit. But that emotional exhaustion of, I don't want to think about anything. Don't ask me a question. You know, that question at the end of the day, hey, everyone, what do you want for dinner? And you're like, I don't want to make another decision. Like, I don't want to think about anything else.
It
And then,
also, real quick, that also looks like being overstimulated. I think that's a key part
yes,
of physical or emotional exhaustion that isn't really talked about as much as it probably should be because it
yeah,
happens to everybody. Sorry.
that is a really, really good point. And let's come back to that because that's huge.
Yeah.
Um,
Number 3.
Neglect, lack of purpose.
Hmm.
So lack of purpose, basically not having your north star, your purpose in life, your GPS coordinates of where you're going. So you're just kind of meandering. This can look like being on a hamster wheel every day. Watch the movie Groundhog Day, and you go, "Huh, that's me."
Hmm.
That would be the lack of purpose. And then the self isolation or cutting off people that you enjoy. Yeah, that would be number 4. Um, and that would be the self isolation, not really reaching out, not nurturing your relationships and connections that you have, and just kind of wanting to be alone.
And there's another piece of this too. Now that we're well, we've been for a while, but in the digital age, it's actually so funny. There's so much that lines up with this show in my
Mhm.
life. It's crazy, like little things that pop up. I was listening to a podcast earlier, and they were talking about the people who will like delete their entire social media history and leave like one post every so often. And they're like, I don't understand people that do that. And immediately, because I've been that person years ago, I know that I am overwhelmed. I feel overexposed. I feel very vulnerable. I
Mhm.
don't want anyone to see me. I don't want anyone to acknowledge me. I'm pulling everything back. I'm isolating myself and I'm pulling all of that in because I don't want anyone to see me.
Yeah.
And that would be another, in my opinion, another that would fit within self-isolation and neglecting relationships, because it's that pulling in.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. And I think that what is important on top of that as well is when you're feeling any of these, when you're sensing any of these four signs, whether it's within yourself or within someone else,
Hmm.
most of the time, nobody knows that you're
Hmm.
feeling this way
Yeah.
because you're hiding it, or you're putting posts up that make your life look really, really good, but really you're struggling.
Hmm.
And these are the people that need us, they need our help. And this is about, again, observing ourselves, but also observing others. Um, hey, Adam, how are you? Good to see you here. And yes, overstimulated, seeing a lot of that happening right now. Absolutely. We are past Mercury retrograde. We have gone back to normal. So that is good. You can't blame anything on Mercury retrograde anymore. You gotta claim your own stuff,
Hmm.
and this is taking radical responsibility and accountability for this, and it's also being self-aware, and that's really what this is. You need to take an inventory of where are you with these four things. How are you feeling? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Are you feeling underwhelmed? Are you feeling exhausted? And then get curious as to what's happening,
Hmm.
what's going on in your life, and then how can we change it.
Hmm.
So, thoughts before we dive into any of that?
Go ahead and dive in. I want to hear your thoughts.
So, when we're feeling overwhelmed or underwhelmed, the thing to look at would be our responsibilities. Are we responsible for things that we've either gotten bored about? We've been doing it for so long that it's just, we don't even have to think about it, and we're bored, and it's just not bringing us any passion anymore. Are we overwhelmed because we're saying yes to things that we probably should be saying no to?
Hmm.
Are we allowing any self-care in the mix at all? um, are you just doing the things that you're doing to people please, and therefore you're not people pleasing you, because you are the most important person? If you're not happy, ain't nobody going to be happy. So think about that. When you make yourself happy, then you get to share that energy out with everyone else. So what is going on? What is the overwhelm or the underwhelm, and how can you shift it? How can you change it?
Yeah.
um,
I think another piece of this too with overwhelm, and I find myself doing this, is maybe it's just a busy time at work, or there's thing, back to school or whatever it is. And we get into this pattern of, well, I'll just do that for this week, because this is all going to level itself out. I just need to do it for this week. And then you say that the next week, and then you say that the next week, and then you say that the next week. And so then, like for me, there's always a ton of stuff to do with work. So I'm like, well, I'll just work extra this week, and then that'll free my time up next week. And then I'll say that and continue going on. And I constantly have to be reminding myself, like, no, if you keep doing this, that's the way that it's going to continue. No
right.
wonder you're overwhelmed. You need to set better boundaries. You need to set yourself and, like, okay, I'm turning things off right now, because if you keep going, you're not going to stop. So you
Right.
have to cut yourself off. You can't just ride on, well, it's just for this week. Well, it's just for this month. Well, it's just for right now, and then things are going to level out. None of that is ever going to happen if you don't make it happen.
Absolutely. And that's so important because, if you know that there's a big project coming up, like we're going to have a big home project coming up, we know this.
Mm-hmm.
So, what we're going to do is we're going to set some things in motion so that way we can free up some of our time so we're not overwhelmed, so it doesn't overflow into every other aspect of our life. But
Right.
we can kind of pre-plan that and prepare for some of that. We're not going to be able to pre-plan for all of it. There's going to be stuff that happens,
Mhm.
um, but we can at least control what we can control.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes back to reminding ourselves of what do we have control over.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing we really have control over in this life is ourself and our response to
Mm-hmm.
any situation, to any stimuli
Yeah.
that happens in our realm, right? In our environment. And so if we're feeling overwhelmed, are we reacting? Is it that knee jerk reaction, or are we responding?
Mm-hmm.
Are we taking a moment to pause in between meetings, so that way we don't go from one meeting where we just came and it was like maybe emotional or charged with negative energy, and then we bring it into the next meeting.
Yeah.
These are little things,
Yeah.
take a moment, take those deep breaths, a moment of presence. That's why we're here. Take those deep breaths, take a moment, clear your energy, go outside, just look at the sky for 2 minutes
Mm-hmm.
and just allow that to calm,
Yeah.
and then go back to whatever it is that needs to get done. If you have to make a list, make a list. Get 3 things off your list done. Go ahead.
You can see.
Yeah, I could tell like you were going to say something, and then
Well, because I love when you go like on your not
tangent
rampages, but in Abraham Hicks language, on your rampages.
pages.
Then it gets too far away for me to comment on something from before, so I try to like when I have an opening. I just wanted to add that there's a big manifestation Abraham Hicks mindfulness principle too with that, where it's like if you're constantly overwhelmed, if your schedule is constantly full, if your environment is constantly packed, you're not leaving room for other opportunities to come in. You're not leaving room for other relationships to come in. And that's a very big thing in like the dating, mindfulness when it comes to dating and stuff too. It's like if you work late every day, if your room is stuffed to the brim with, your own stuff, if you're, behaving in certain ways, you're not leaving room for that partner that you're wishing for to come in. I have a love-hate relationship with that concept. I don't know how much I fully believe in it, but I do see the value in it because yeah, if you're working late every single day, when are you going to have time to spend time with anybody? I mean, that doesn't even just go for dating, it goes for
Yeah.
family. If you want good family familial, woo, if you want good familial relationship, but you never have the time to spend that with anybody, you're never gonna get that. You're never gonna get close to that.
Right.
And so that goes right along with overwhelm too. If you're always overwhelmed, how do you expect peace to find you? You have to set the stage for that. You have to make room for that. And that is a very intentional thing to do.
Yeah. And it goes, going to Renee's comment about the new motto, and I love that for the kids, get curious. I would say the same thing. So if you're overwhelmed and you're packing your schedule and you're saying yes to everybody and you're people pleasing and you're doing this and you're doing that, what are you hiding from?
Mm-hmm.
Get curious.
Mm-hmm.
What are you keeping yourself from doing, or being able to participate in, or are you hiding? Like, is that your excuse to get you out of living life? So these can be connected and kind of merged together. So the self isolation could also go with, I keep myself so busy I can't see people. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't have time to do anything.
Absolutely.
Why are you not making having some fun a priority? And yes, we can say that, well, there's this project at work, or right now I have to overwork, or for right now I have to do this. There's always going to be another project, just like there's always going to be bills, for those people who are like, I want to be debt free, and before I have kids I want to be able to afford them. You're never going to be able to afford kids or get out of debt. That's life. Like, don't look at it as a bad thing. If you're not in debt and you're not spending money, you're dead. So, I mean, that's just the bottom line. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry to be harsh, but it's true. If you're not spending money and you're not doing things, experiencing life, that's you're not living. You're just not living. It's the opposite. So you can't take it with you. I'm not saying to spend frivolously and
Frivolously.
frivolously and irresponsible. However, don't stop yourself from doing something that means so much to you, that you're passionate about, because of that. So that's my point on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we move on to physical and emotional exhaustion?
Yeah, I'm exhausted just listening to all of that. No, I'm kidding. Yes, let's move
All right.
on to emotional and physical exhaustion.
So we've both been there, like at the end of the day, where we've just had to like use our brains so much, or we've had to be so strategic. And these are the times, this is when I'm going to go back to the feminine and the masculine energy.
Mm-hmm.
If you're using so much masculine energy because you've been so strategic all day, or you've been, literally building something like the architect of your life, then you need to do the opposite. You need to go and run in the rain. You need to go and jump in the pool. You need to go and just do something fun. I was watching my friend Eric, and I've been on his podcast a couple times, and he and it was so funny because I was like, oh, it's kind of what we're talking about. And he was talking about bring your 5-year-old, like you, to work with you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
bring your 5-year-old to work with you or into your life every day, because that 5-year-old is that playful, whimsical essence of you. And it was so good the way he said it, and I was like, awesome. And he was like taking a walk in the woods, and I was like, that's perfect. But do the opposite. So if you feel emotionally drained at the end of the day, now you need to like look and go, okay, I need to get strategic about my boundaries, because this ain't working. Either one of these exhaustions, you're not going to be able to keep up very long, and you're going to crash. And who wants to do that? So it's in your control. All of this is in your control. What?
The line you just said sounded straight out of Couples Retreat. So my brain instantly, I don't remember now. My brain instantly went blank because I started laughing.
I love Couples Retreat. You love Couples Retreat. It's like a family favorite
Oh,
here.
I'm borderline obsessed with Couples Retreat. I love that movie. But 100%. But so I want to get clarity on the piece that you just said. So you're saying if you're feeling, I think we need to give some practical examples, because you're saying when you feel emotionally exhausted, you need to tap into the technical side. When you're feeling technically or strategically exhausted, you need to tap into the emotional side. So what does that actually look like? So I come home from work and I've been doing operations all day and I am freaking toasted. My brain is gone. What should I be doing?
Put on some music and cook your favorite meal.
And if I come home and I've been a teacher and I've been working with kids all day and I've been being empathetic all day to hear all their beautiful, wonderful little stories, but I am just, my heart is toasted and I am just exhausted from that. What should I do?
You can either bake, because baking is very strategic, as we've learned with my baking. You could build something, put something together. You could rearrange, or organize like your desk, or do something like that. You could look at your schedule and fit in some self-care time. You could do something that you enjoy, like take 15-20 minutes and just do something that is like absolutely fun and absolutely opposite of everything that you were doing all day long. So whatever that looked like, do the opposite. Maybe it's binge watch your favorite TV show,
Okay.
and order something in, so you don't have to cook at all. So you have no responsibility. Be irresponsible and order in, so you don't have any dishes to do, and use a paper plate, and just be a kid. Be the kid that you got to like hang out with, but
Yeah.
be the kid, not the adult.
I like it. Okay. Sounds good. I mean, I think that was probably the easiest one of the four. So let's move on to number 3. Lack of purpose / no direction.
Yeah. So if you've lost your way, because we're all born with a purpose, right? We've all come into this world. We have an idea of what our, well, we may forget what our purpose is, but our higher self knows. So maybe we need to remind ourselves what that purpose is. And sometimes we have to take a look and go, have I gone off the rails? Have I gone off the track? Have I, gone so far down this other path that I don't know how to get back to the other way? And I think, Renee's last comment about taking a step back from her bigger role of teaching, I think this is amazing because this is exactly it. If you're, and it's like the like social workers in healthcare as well. When you get to the point in your role that you're not able to do the thing that you love that got you to want to be that role, that person in that role, then you need to take a step back and you need to reevaluate. You need to take a look at your values. Are you able to, enjoy what you're doing? And if not, why? Have you been asked to do something else that wasn't part of the job in the beginning but now is, and it's not something that fuels you? Because
Hmm.
the thing is that if you're doing what you love, yes, I know it's a bumper sticker talk, but if you love what you're doing, you never work a day in your life. You're not going to have the physical and emotional exhaustion
Hmm.
because it's just going to be part of your day and you enjoy it no matter what happens.
Yeah.
But if you get to that point where you feel lost and you're not able to do any of the things that you love, then that's a problem. And you got to get back to the basics.
Hmm.
Who am I? Like literally, what makes me excited? What helps me? Like when I think of my life and my favorite days, I used to love doing this. If I think about my favorite days, what was I doing? Favorite day of work, favorite day of fun, favorite day of whatever. What were you doing? Are you still doing that?
Well, and I feel like I'm just thinking like, even in my own area of work, I feel like there's so many people who are probably could hear that and be like, who loves accounting? Who loves being a nurse? Who loves doing operations? I freaking love operations. I get freaking excited about technology and spreadsheets and building automation and just all the little fine tuning of like, I get so to the point where people get annoyed with me of how excited about operations I am.
I don't.
That's
I get
what
very
that's
happy.
what we're talking about here. I mean, listen, first, it's not always realistic in every case, or is it? There's
Right.
absolutely
Well, that's
times
the thing.
where,
Or is it?
right. I mean, there's definitely, there's certain times where, listen, you do what you got to do. Life is life, as I think Renee commented at one point. Life is gonna life. Life is what it is. There's
Mhm.
gonna be times where, yeah, maybe you do have to do something you don't totally love for an interim. But if you are settling in that and you have zero drive, zero interest, zero action of finding that thing that you do love, that
Mhm.
is a choice that's being made
Right.
to
Absolutely.
stay in that place of no direction.
Well, yep. And it's also being the observer, right? And being curious of the scales, right? And we know I don't like the word balance. I like harmony, but Miss Libra and scales, we'll go into that. If you have more good days, right? If 4 out of the 5 or 7 out of the 8 hours are things that you love doing, that's awesome and that's amazing. But if all of a sudden it starts tipping and it goes to like you're working 40 hours a week and 38 of them, you can't stand what you're doing, something's got to give. And so either you have to shift your perspective on what you're doing or you need to find something else to do. And one of my favorite stories of a client was I was talking to them about their job and they wanted to leave their job. And they were like, I can't stand it. I'm not listened to. I sit at the meetings and I just don't have a voice anymore. My boss doesn't even care if I have an idea. Like, and I was like, when was the last time you looked at your job description, like the one that you responded to, that you really wanted that job because you read the job description? And she was like, it's been a while. And I was like, so that's your homework. Go look at your job description and then get curious, not judgment, but curious. How much of that are you actually doing? How much of it have you stopped doing because you've now gotten a little lazy, or you've drifted off, or whatever the reason is? How far away from your job description are you? And when she did that, she realized she had started getting really lazy about things. She started delegating some of her favorite things that she liked doing to other people. And when she got back on track, and all of a sudden she started talking in meetings again, and putting her ideas out there, a month later she got promoted. So she had to take radical responsibility for where she was, and that she was being detrimental to her own career.
Yeah. I mean, I think that that's a lot more common than we want to admit. And the other piece of this too, though, is, and this is something I've literally have done, is at one point, it wasn't even that long ago, maybe 5 years ago, it felt like I was having a lot of bad days. That's how it felt. And so I decided, you know what? I want to be able to see this, because I want to see how much my life sucks. I swear to God, that's what my brain said, was I want to see just how often I'm miserable. So what I was already basically, like, every day I just kind of like make a little list of like what happened today, just to kind of keep track of time and life and what goes on. But I got colored stickers, and I put a little sticker at the end of the day, how did I feel that day went? And did I, at the end of the year, put that into a spreadsheet? Yes, I did. Was it also color coded? Yes, it was. And did I? But did I also find out that actually 90% of the days that year were great or no, it was 80% of days were great days.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, I'm figuring out. No. 70% of days were great days. 20% of days were super great days. And then the other 10% were, I was angry that day, I was sad that day, I was off, something was weird. My mind was blown.
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, it felt like, oh my God, so many of those days were horrible. When in reality, no, 90% of them were not, according to my own self-reporting.
Right.
And it was interesting, because looking back, I was also making notes of what happened that day. Yeah, I would make note where like something, small maybe pissed me off at some point or upset me, whatever. Mm-hmm. But overall, at the end of that day, I still felt good. And so that was a great point of reflection for me on where I was putting too much focus on the negative emotions, and realizing, oh wait, I am having a better time than I thought.
Yeah.
And it really put things into perspective. You don't have to do it for the whole year.
I love that. But
it would be interesting to try that out, even if it's just a couple of weeks, and really make a note of like, how did my day go today? You don't want to do colors, do numbers, do whatever. 1 is terrible and 5 is great. But play around with that and see what it looks like for you.
We should, maybe if you would be so inclined to create a template of that's blank, maybe we could share that out to our email subscribers. And so if you want Krista's template for self-evaluation,
the email list. We did not plan this. I had the button for email list, but that was not. Yeah, we can do that.
I think that's a great idea, because I think that is challenge. It's such a great, like, let's do it for, let's start it. Well, whenever you can get that up and ready, and then we'll do it a month from like 1 full month, and we'll do an episode. And if any of you want to share, we'll bring you on the show, and you can talk about like what you learned too, because I think that is such a great idea. And like with Renee, I know you love your littles. I'm sure that there's the parents of those littles that probably make some mornings or some afternoons not very happy. Does a teacher, right, a role model, focus on those little moments that are probably going to impact the littles, or are they going to focus on the moments that they had to deal with, the sometimes the big bad terrible parents that some of us can be? And I will admit that there were times that I probably was not the easiest parent in the school, but
Yeah, but I think
what
just
do
real
you
quick,
focus on?
I think there's a difference between the parent that is overly involved. Yeah, that's annoying, but the parent who isn't involved but then doesn't let their child take accountability,
Or
that's
they don't take accountability for their
either
irresponsibility.
way.
Right.
And I'd be curious to hear from you, Renee. You don't have to comment here, but just I'd be curious to hear like which of those parents is more frustrating to deal with.
Oh, I would love to hear that one. So basically, go back to your values, go back to what were your goals 6 months ago. Are you still on track? Are you still doing the things that are getting you closer to those goals? And if not, why? What are the obstacles, the barriers that have come up in your way, and how do we get rid of them?
Yeah.
And get curious about it, and then again, take control and start taking action, right? Start doing some different things. And then the last one is, you know,
Most fun.
the the not putting effort into relationships, self isolating. This can happen because we get busy, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh my God, it's been, 6 months and I haven't talked to my friend. It can be years of not talking to a friend that you're really close to. And so you get to look at that and go, okay, why? Is it that you're afraid they're going to ask you a question? Are you afraid that a topic is going to come up that's uncomfortable? Is it because you don't feel like you have anything worthy to share? And so then it's getting curious again, major self-awareness into yourself of, why am I doing this? What am
Well,
I?
hold on. I think you left off important ones that I feel like are even more common, which is I just don't have the time for this. You can make
Yes.
the time. And a trauma response of, well, they didn't respond to my text message before, so I'm just going to wait now until I hear back from them because I don't want to put myself out there. I don't know.
Well, they didn't contact me when it was my birthday, so I'm not going to wish them happy birthday. Like, really? Like,
They never text me first, so I'm not going to reach out to them now.
how about you just be authentically you? And if you reach out and you say, hi, I was thinking of you, and they don't respond, who cares? Because at some point, and this is the key, at some point, that person's going to look at that text and they're going to go, that's so nice. I
This
want
is
to reach, I want to reach out to them.
This is making me think of the Key and Peele skit where they're texting each other and one person is reading it like they're being really rude and aggressive, and the other person is like, "Oh my God, that's so nice of them."
And you know what? And you're going to be so shocked by this. I know.
Mm-hmm.
I will go on my phone and I will like go to text somebody that I haven't heard from in a while, and I'll realize that I never sent the last text that I had written, like whether it was for their birthday
Really
or whatever.
No. Okay, hold on. Be real with me for a second. Is that real? Because I feel like I've done that, and it's just that I didn't want to respond originally.
No,
Is that
seriously, because I'll have something written, and I'll be like, oh wait, I know, right? I want to add more. Like, I'm not done with the text, and then like the dogs will have to go outside. Well, then I take the dogs outside, and then we go walk around the yard, and then maybe I start playing with the dogs, and then I come back inside. Oh, it's time for lunch, or it's time for dinner, or whatever, or
Don't eat lunch. Nice try.
I know, or something else comes. And so it's like, and then you look at your phone and you're like, oh my God, I never sent that. Like, yeah, it happens. Welcome to my
I feel like
brain.
I'm not the only person out there that feels a little suspicious about that, but I'll let it fly.
I have done that. I have noticed at least 3 different emails this week alone that I never sent that. Oh, shoot. Because I got up, walked away before I was finished typing the email. And when I came back, I went on to something else and then went, oh my gosh, I never sent it. Like,
How about the bigger picture of just people are people. People got their own shit going on. It
yeah,
doesn't mean that they don't like you. It doesn't mean they don't care about you. It means that they're busy and
yeah,
maybe they forgot. And guess what? The biggest slice of humble pie is when you get really pissy about someone doing that to you, and then you do it to somebody like a week later.
yeah, because that's your ego talking. It's all ego. It's your ego. And if you let the ego go, you have no beef with the person. Your ego does, but you don't. Your heart doesn't. I have this meditation teacher that I listen to, Tiger Singleton. I'll shout him out. He's on Insight Timer. He's amazing. His meditations are much more like he just talks and he laughs at himself. It's hysterical. But he was talking about it and he's like, so I have this friend and we had plans and we were supposed to go to dinner and then she bailed on me at the last minute. And I could have chosen to get upset about it and mad at it, but she has a life and I know she has a life and she has kids and she has, so when she messaged me like 3 days later and went, oh my God, I totally forgot. I was like, no big deal. And most people don't do that. Most people would like harbor that and they would be furious and upset. And it's like, why are you putting so much energy into
Mm-hmm.
being upset and then potentially having to take the time to talk it out when in reality you could just be like, cool, you have time now? Let's go hang out.
Mm-hmm.
You got to eat. So go eat dinner, go eat lunch, go do something. We all got to go grocery shopping. Go grocery shopping together. Who knows? But
Yeah.
make time for other people. And if you're not making time for other people, the question to ask yourself is why? And then why again? And then why again until you get down to the deeper level of, are you hiding? Are you not wanting to be seen? Why? Why? Keep asking yourself why until you get to the root cause. And then that's when you know what needs to be addressed.
I mean, for me, what I basically did is I just had the perspective realization of like, if this person were to be gone tomorrow, am I going to be really freaking upset if I held on to this a minute longer? And I mean, you tell me, but at this point, like, I really don't hold on to much very long. It might bother me when I think about it again, but I don't hold anything against pretty much anybody at this point because I'm like, if I waste even a minute longer on this, that is a minute that I could have been loving that person. That is a minute that I could have been enjoying my time with that person. And if God forbid something happened where they're not here tomorrow, I'm going to be so upset that I
Right.
wasted my time being upset about something so dumb. So even when someone acts like a total asshole,
Mm-hmm. It happens
all right, cool. Well, I mean, what?
because that's on
In
them.
1 year,
There's
yeah, in 1 year out there, that has nothing to do with me. I still love that person. I have moments like that too. I'm very well aware of that. Why am
Mhm.
I going to hold on to that and miss out on on time together? Time is all we have at the end of the day.
Right. Well, and I love all of that. And why are you also going to allow your peace to be disturbed because somebody else ticked them off and they're in a bad way?
Mhm.
You can reach out and be like, hope everything's okay. But for you to then overthink why, and that should probably be on here too, is overthinking. If you're overthinking, then that's taking your peace away. And why do you deserve that? Why let that trickle out into this long rainbow of upset and annoyance? And it's just, we can stop it in its tracks is the whole point. All of this can be stopped in its tracks, and we don't wait for someday to figure this out. We do it now, because there's never going to be the perfect time, just like there's never going to be a time where we have enough money, enough time, enough of any of it.
Well, the whole
Now is the
I'll wait
time.
until I have enough. If you had to, you would. So why wait until the moment where you have to? Just have to right now.
Right, right. Because heaven for what are you laughing because
No,
I'm
I'm
itching
just
my
laughing at that notion. It's like,
foot?
oh well, I don't have the time to go see, my parent right now. okay, well, if you got a call, or God forbid something happened, you would make that time.
Right.
I can't go get that thing that I desperately need. Okay, well, if push came to shove, you would figure out a way to make it happen. So
Right.
figure out a way to make it. And I know there's caveats with this. It doesn't apply to everything. But in most cases,
Right.
it all, like you end every episode with, every day is about choices.
Yeah.
You get to make a choice in every single decision.
Yes. So, if not now, when? I wanted to definitely make sure I said that. We're going to take 3 deep breaths because we have gone through a ton of stuff. And I think we need to kind of bring it down and let it settle. But we're going to do something that I've learned in my class, since I'm taking a class. We're going to interlock your thumbs and put your hands on your chest, on your heart. Yep, as best as you can. I know mine's.
I had to see what I like better on the top.
And then as you breathe in, take a big deep breath in. We're just gonna just start tapping lightly. I know, right? There's a little butterfly sitting on your
chest. A little EFT work here.
Slower. Just. And then exhale slowly.
It's making me want to giggle. Is that normal? Mm-hmm. Does it have to be in unison?
No, you can. Well, with your 2 hands, maybe. Yeah. Just slow it down. Take another deep breath in. See if you can go even slower. And then exhale. One more. See how slow you can get the butterfly's wings to go. And then hold. And then exhale slowly. Okay, you can stop. How'd that feel?
That actually was great. It really helped you bring your heart rate down, I think.
Yes.
Is that the purpose?
Yeah. And help with your nervous system, and just because you're being present, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you got to focus on something other than your brain. Oh, brilliant!
Oh!
That's sneaky. That's a good one. If you know someone that's prone to panic attacks, grab onto that, and you don't have to tell them why, but have them do the exercise.
And also, if they're hyperventilating,
look. And probably even.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, you could totally put them together. Love that.
Yeah. So
thank you for joining us today for another episode of Moment of Presence.
You can take all of these techniques and you can apply them. If you would like any help, you want any guidance, you want to chat, you want to talk it out, brainstorm, hit me up, mokshagrace.com/coaching. Book a call with me and we'll chat. We should just call it like coffee chat. And we'll just chat, see what's going on, see if there's anything, that I can give you as far as help, guidance. Definitely join the email so that way you can get Krista's amazing template for self-monitoring your day so that we can take a look at it, self-evaluation of your good and bad days, and make it fun. And every day you have a choice whether you are going to wake up and have a good day or you're going to have a bad day, which is what we're going to evaluate in our template. Oh my God, I'm a poet. Didn't know it. So choose wisely. And you can find us here every week on Thursdays at 12 p.m. Eastern. And Krista, where can they find you?
I'm around. You can look me up, Krista Barone.
I'm around. So chill. I'm around.
I'm on the interweb.
Hook me. Yeah.
You'll find me. My name's pretty unique. It's not that hard. Yeah. I probably shouldn't say that. Anyway, have a great day and weekend, everybody.
And thank you for joining us, and share out to the people that need it.
Happy back to school for everybody.
Yes, happy back to school. I'm sure the kids don't like that, but
I would have, so not
Well,
everybody.
this is true. Not everybody.
On that note, bye everyone.
Bye. Be safe.